school called Choate in Connecticut.
Connecticut?
What, you never think about getting out of Queens?
All the time. Tell me more about this school.
You finally got your nightclub. Your dad would have been proud.
I told you about my father's nightclub.
Choate was the opportunity of a lifetime.
Then when my pops died, I thought then at least you would reach out.
When I was your age, I thought it was the right thing to do. My father tried to get me to turn my back on the streets. I didn't listen. I'm trying to protect you from a life of misery, son.
Nigga, you made me this way, Kay. Come on, man. This is who I was all along. If I'm born somewhere else, if I ain't raised by you, come on, man. I'm in business school somewhere.
Where you been? I haven't seen you since the night he died. Tried to tell your father we needed to pay those drug deals to leave us alone. Tried to tell him not to talk to the police. That those kids were bad news.
Welcome back, Top Notch Gang, to another video. We're here in the aftermath of season 4 of Raising Kanan, and with the introduction of Breeze as well as the interview we seen of Sasha Penn from Deadline, we know the introduction of Young Ghost and Tommy is right around the corner. We've already got the announcement of Power Origins telling the backstory of a Young Ghost and Young Tommy, and we had so many questions about their upbringing when it came to Kanan and Breeze, how they was raised, everything they taught them. And I went ahead and made a whole entire video on that, on why Ghost took out a Breeze and portrayed a Kanan, and every single thing him and Tommy learned from them that we're gonna see take place in Power Origins. But in this one, I'm talking more of a theory, not confirmed or anything, but something I think Kanan and Breeze had a hand in the death of Ghost's dad. We have so many clues and details from OG Power talking about Ghost's dad's death, him being mentioned. I think the way it's told and information we do have, we can put together the pieces that necessarily point to Kanan and Breeze possibly doing it themselves, but definitely having a hand in it. So as usual, you guys can leave a like, comment, subscribe, let me know your thoughts and opinions, but let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, first things first, I think because of all the clips and scenes we got from OG Power, we're able to paint a clear timeline from a lot of these scenes and things we hear about Ghost's dad. So first off, obviously we get the clip of Tommy and Ghost coming out of school, 1996, and Tommy is telling him we got to meet up with Kanan and he's gonna introduce us to Breeze.
Come on, we gotta move this way. Kanan's gonna be looking for us. So he's gonna introduce us to Breeze.
Hi, I'm ready.
Now obviously this is relevant and important because following this we see Ghost get in a conversation with Angela, and this when she's first telling him about Cho, about how she's possibly leaving and going to Connecticut to attend another school.
School called Choate in Connecticut.
Connecticut? Tell me more about this school.
Now we're gonna get back to this conversation because of something Ghost said, but in the original Power, when Ghost and Angela see each other for the first time again, they have a conversation about her leaving, and Ghost said that he thought she was gonna return, especially once his dad died, and be there for him.
Then when my pops died, I thought then at least you would reach out.
I should have been there for you.
So this lets us know that in this timeline, in this scene, in this moment, that Ghost's dad had to be alive while he was already working with a Kanan and with a Breeze when he was already into the game. And we could confirm this due to a later scene we overhear between Ghost and Tariq, where Ghost is telling Tariq that his dad tried to keep him out the game and wanted him to stay away from it, and he didn't listen at all.
When I was your age, I thought it was the right thing to do. My father tried to get me to turn my back on the streets. I didn't listen. I don't want you to make the same mistake, son.
Now I know a couple of y'all are already asking why is this important. Now I'm about to explain it before we get into the conversation between Ghost and his uncle Gabe about how his dad died. But we all know Ghost. He always felt like he had more to do and offer outside of the drug business. So he always had one foot in, one foot out, even since he was young at the very beginning. We hear it in the conversation with Angela when she asks him, did he ever think about getting out of Queens? And he says all the time.
What, you never think about getting out of Queens?
All the time.
So I think possibly even way back then, Ghost wasn't really messing with this, and because he was around a Tommy, a Kanan, a Breeze who was all in, I think they possibly could have hand in hand in making sure he didn't get out. Now we know, once again, this is something Ghost has always wanted. We see later on in his life when he has the club and he's working with Tommy, he goes and takes out everyone within their organization and business, even try to take out Lobos and everything like that. And it's because he tells Tommy, hey, I feel like I have more to offer than just this.
That's your business. This is my business. It's the only thing I was ever good at.
I got more to offer.
You motherfucker.
He told Tasha multiple times, did you ever see me being anything else but a drug dealer?
What'd you think I was gonna be?
The biggest goddamn drug dealer in New York City.
You never thought about more.
What more?
And also that I don't know any old wrinkle up drug dealers, that the club is what's next, it's the life, it's after, it's the goal, it's the dream.
I don't know any old wrinkled drug dealers. They're either dead or inside, Tasha. It's our escape plan.
Escape from what?
So we always knew that this isn't where he wanted to be, but because of possibly his situation with his dad that we're gonna see earlier on, maybe season 1 of Power Origins, how possibly they were poor and everything like that, that this is the route he had to take. And we see it once again in a conversation between Ghost and Kanan in season 6. He's hallucinating Kanan and he telling him basically this was his destiny, this was his goal. He was always supposed to be somebody, that he just had to take the long route of going through the drugs and killing people and doing all this bad shit to get where he was always supposed to be.
But you a criminal. A bad guy just like me, nigga.
This is who I am. This is who I was all along. I took the long fucking route, it's true, but I'm here where I deserve to be.
Going as far as to say that if I wasn't raised by you, I would be in business school somewhere, kind of how Angela went to Cho.
Nigga, you made me this way, Kay. Come on, man. This is who I was all along. If I'm born somewhere else, if I ain't raised by you, come on, man. I'm in business school somewhere.
Well, now why is all this relevant and connect back to the death of his dad? We overhear in another conversation between Sean and Ghost when, of course, Kanan told Sean the truth about Ghost setting him up and sending him to jail, and he tried to convince Sean to be the one to go take out Ghost because he could do it easily. And when Sean pulls up on him and questions him about setting up Kanan, Ghost explains why he didn't kill Kanan, saying he loved him, he could either take him out or send him to jail. And something specifically he said was, he was there for me when my dad died.
My dad told me that you sent him to jail.
Back then I had big plans. Big plans that Kanan couldn't see. It was either set him up for him to go away or it was me killing him. I wasn't gonna kill him. When my pops died, your dad was there for me, man.
Once again, this confirms and reiterates the point that his dad was still alive once he was already entering the game and working with a Kanan or a Breeze. Now, him having one foot in and one foot out, Kanan probably and a Breeze isn't rocking with that, and they needed to make it permanent that he was all the way in and that he had their back through whatever. So when we get to Uncle Gabe and Ghost's dad, we of course hear a conversation with Uncle Gabe and Ghost, and he tells him that I haven't seen you since the night your dad died.
Where you been? Why didn't you come back? I haven't seen you since the night he died.
Ghost tells him, of course, he went to go live with Tommy. Basically, this would reinforce him fully being in the gang, because we know how Tommy is. This is all Tommy ever wanted in life. So Ghost living with him and still working with Kanan and Breeze and losing his dad, it basically locked him into this life for the long haul. But nonetheless, we hear Gabe talking about how Ghost's dad died and having to pay this ransom to these drug dealers, and Ghost's dad going to the police.
We needed to pay those drug dealers to leave us alone. Tried to tell him not to talk to the police. That those kids were bad news.
And he says specifically that I knew those kids were bad news. Now, obviously, this doesn't necessarily tell us if Ghost actually know who did the deed or not, but with his dad snitching and with him talking about them being drug dealers that took him out, obviously I think Kanan and Breeze, if they were really running the streets back then, I feel like they could have been in a snaps and pop position, how we just seen in Raising Kanan season 4, how they paid some cops to go and take out Famous, how they've been pulling the strings on everyone in the background. They killed Crystal and now they're trying to convince Kanan that Rock took out both of them to get Kanan to take out Rock, which we don't know if it worked, but going into season 5, we're gonna find out. I think Kanan and Breeze are gonna take a page out that book. We know they're working closely with Snaps and Pop right now, and I think this can make sure that they know Ghost is gonna be in the game. Like I said, they're gonna be able to mask them doing this or having a hand in it, because they might not necessarily pull a trigger themselves, but in the fact that his dad is a snitch and he owed people money, they're going to be able to keep their hands clean. And I believe Ghost possibly never finds out about this, because when I talk about why Ghost killed a Breeze and took out a Kanan, it would be easy to just say he knew they took out his dad, but I'm sure that this is something, a piece of information that's probably never revealed to him, but he did end up having a hand in it. And once again, as he mentioned to Sean, Kanan was the person there for him after it happened, not an Angela like he wanted to be, who was possibly have convinced him around that time that, okay, maybe it is time to officially get out. I think Breeze and Kanan, what they do is crucial to Ghost's story and how we see him in the original Power. If him always wanting to be out, obviously we know that's a thing from everything we've been seeing, but how his circumstances kind of forced him into this. And once again, like he said, he took the long route to get his way out, and to see Kanan and Breeze do a maneuver like this, I think it will really stamp them as the characters we saw them as, especially Breeze. I know a lot of you guys didn't like his first impression, but they need to nail this storyline, because he's going to be a focal point of Power Origins, which is the next big spinoff. So I just think they got to make this work, and I think this is a way and route that they could choose to go, in which Kanan and Breeze had a hand in taking out Ghost's dad, forcing him to stay in the game, and the rest is history. Overall though, that's it for this video. You guys give me your thoughts and opinions on how you feel about this, if you think it's true. I think it's a smart way to go about the storyline with the Kanan and Breeze situation. We need to see them make moves and actually be in control, actually running shit. That's what we want to see, especially in Power Origins. The come up of Ghost and Tommy under them is going to be so important for the Power universe and how long it continues to go. They say Power never ends, but I think Breeze is a storyline more than any other that they need to nail, because you got to think about Kanan, Breeze, Ghost, and Tommy. These are all characters we already know how all their stories end. Well, I guess except for Tommy. So we're really seeing the middle ground, the background, the stuff we didn't get to see yet. And if that stuff don't hit, then there really isn't no point in watching, because once again, we know they all, for the most part, end up in the grave except for Tommy. So them going this route, making moves like this, I think it'll help to show how smart they is, how smart they made Ghost, everything they taught him. It's just the decision I think they should make. As usual though, you guys leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what other videos you want to see, but I'm out.